So I've been thinking about this for the last few days, but I made a post the other day on this, and I think it's kind of a mystery to us, relationships and how men and women work. Why we feel like when we chase somebody, or just why we feel like people like us and then all of a sudden they don't. And just how relationships work. You know, there's the person who chases the person, or the person who feels like they're always pursuing, and then the person who feels like they're chased. And there's usually, it feels like a game, right? When we're beginning relationships, or starting to like people or whatever it is. And it's just made me think about all of this lately, because why does all this happen? And I've been trying to put it into thoughts or words, and I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp on it. But I think of it as we all have, there's a divine masculine, there's a divine feminine nature. And in our heart of hearts, in our truest form, we want people who are healthy and whole. And when we feel like, let's say somebody likes you, or you like somebody, let's just say you like somebody, and you guys start talking, and you start feeling, all of these feelings start bubbling up of, I like this person so much. What happens if they don't like me? What if they all of a sudden walk away? What if I say something to annoy them? And you're constantly in the place of insecurity. So you're in that place, but things are going good, but the insecurity starts building, and you find yourself, sending more texts just to make sure that they're still with you, still responding. And then you realize they're responding less and less. And you are like, oh no, they're not talking to me like they were, they're not responding to me like they were. And you start to freak out, so it increases your obsession, it increases your insecurity, and you start asking questions like, why haven't you responded to me all day? Or what's going on? I haven't heard from you. Which then increases the feeling of obsession. And people pick up on that. People pick up on this energy that we put out. And so what it really signifies to the opposite sex is a level of healing that hasn't been done. And it signifies and sends out red flags to us that this person isn't secure in themselves. They aren't secure enough in themselves. And what ultimately the message is to our highest self is, this person isn't secure enough in themselves to have a true, real, meaningful relationship with me. Because if they were secure enough in themselves to have a true, real relationship with me, then they wouldn't care so much that somebody is or isn't talking to them. When we care so much that somebody responds to us, it ultimately speaks to an insecurity in us, or an abandonment wound. We all have a lot of us have abandonment wounds we haven't dealt with, knowing that people leave us, people have left us in the past. And so when that same feeling comes up that somebody might leave us again, we cling on for dear life and we don't want to let go. And the more we cling on, the more we show how unhealthy we truly are and how much healing work we really do need. And some people might stick around for that if that they haven't had healing themselves, if they haven't dealt with their own healing in their own wounds. But what happens is then you have, this toxic person is showing all the red flags, and the toxic person that they're wanting misses all those red flags. And so they're toxic in and of themselves, and these two toxic people get together, and it's just a toxic relationship. But ultimately, most people who aren't extremely toxic, if they start sensing insecurity and toxicity from you, they will start pushing away. So when we get into a relationship, hopefully we have our own personal power. Everybody has their ability to have their own personal power and our own energy and our own sense of being. And when we aren't secure in that, and we don't understand that, we can give that power away so easily to other people. And a healthy individual isn't going to want you to give their power away to them. So let's say a man and a woman start talking, and the woman starts to act desperate in the sense that she will do anything for this man to keep him. She'll sleep with him right away. She'll lavish him with gifts. She'll, call him all the time, text him all the time, whatever it is, in hopes that she can keep him around and keep him wanting her. But in his masculinity, it will end up repulsing him because she has let go of her own feminine power. She's let go of her own personal feminine power, that she is, totally fine and complete without a man. She's let that go. That's gone out the window. And now the man is sensing her feelings of powerlessness over him. And a real man doesn't want that. He doesn't want a woman who's going to give away her power to him immediately. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about the energy that you put into that person. If you're putting all your time and energy you're thinking about them constantly, you're texting them constantly, you're checking on them constantly, you're doing all these things, you're putting all of your time and energy into that person, and you are essentially giving away your power to that person. And they don't want that. Like a true man, I'm talking to you ladies right now, a real man does not want you to give away your power to him. A real man wants you to keep your power and combine it with his, and you guys can have a superpower together. And I really think that goes the same for women too. We don't want men to become these groveling, desperate idiots over us, right? Whenever we feel desperation from a man, what do? Run away, right? So the dickhead that doesn't really want us, then we desperately want him, right? Because he doesn't want us, so we want what doesn't want us. So it's not even, that's a twisted version of how everything's supposed to work. The real way it's supposed to work is that there's going to be a man who won't give away his power to us or because of us. He will stand in his power and want us to stand in ours. And then together we can be in our own power, but together. And so I think when we start to give away our personal power to another person is when the relationship starts to break down. And it's just a matter of figuring out how to stay in that power, because it's hard when you're in love and you start feeling feelings. It brings up all of these insecurities and all of these old wounds and triggers that eventually it's like you become a hot mess because you've had all of the triggers come up. I think in this time for me being single for as long as I have, which is, I mean, a long time in comparison to what I've been in the past, I have a hard time going past a couple months being single until I find a new relationship. So, almost a year being single, this is a big deal for me. And it's been the best thing I've ever done. And I think it's so important for us to allow ourselves to be single and to heal those places in us that want to keep giving away power to other people. To heal those abandoned places, to heal those wounds, to heal those childhood things that make us so insecure and so, easily able to just give away our power to another human being. Because ultimately, we don't want to do that. Ultimately, the people we're with don't want us to do that. They may not know that we're giving away our power to them, but the feeling is there. And subconsciously, in our highest selves, we know when somebody starts to do that. And the way we verbalize it is they're too needy. They're too overbearing. They are too touchy-feely and just all over me and I can't handle it. What we're really truly saying is they're giving away their power to us too much. And we just wanted them. We just wanted them for who they are and we didn't want to suck all the power out of them, But it's really not our fault. They're making that choice to give that power away. But it's because they have a lot of healing to do. And if we do that, we have a lot of healing to do. If we continually to give our power to another human being, when we get into a new relationship and immediately we're hooked and we're obsessed and we're thinking and we're texting and it's just as much as we can possibly stay single and heal ourselves, the better. And then when it comes time to be in a relationship, the more that we can remove ourselves from getting in that place where we're giving away our power, the better. And yeah, it just, all of this stuff is just making me think lately of just why this all happens. But I really feel like on a true, deeper, higher self level, this is ultimately the breakdown of relationships and why breakdowns happen, whether they're, a week old or 5 years old or whatever it is. We've lost ourselves and our partner doesn't want us to lose ourselves. And coming from a higher place, that their highest self does not want us to lose ourselves in them. So, and if they do, then they're toxic and we're probably toxic as well, and just two toxic people trying to do life together, and it just doesn't work. So anyways, wanted to share my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think. because I think that it's a big deal, and it's stuff that we need to think about. We need to work on, for sure, and get healing as much as we possibly can, even if we're in a relationship or married or something. Like, get that healing done so that we can come back into our own power and not give away our power to our partner. So, all right, you guys.